PASCAL. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your head to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Find somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good evening. Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits. Why? Because another day above the dirt is always a blessing. And yes, just so you guys know, there has been some breaking news, some other things that are going on right now in the world right now. But we will be talking about that on another show. Thoughts and prayers out to Maryland right now. Thoughts and prayers out to Maryland right now. Just to let you guys know, there's a lot going on in these streets, and more and more chaos is going on. But I was like, you know what? I need to do this before it disappears, before we get too busy with other things. I'll explain what's going on in Maryland in just a minute as we start to get this show going, okay? But do me a favor, guys. Before we get into everything, hit that like button down below, please and thank you. Crush it, do what it do, please and thank you. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on other platforms, please be sure to hit that follow button as well. That'll be greatly appreciated. Subscribe here to the main channel on YouTube. Go to the secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Please go over there and subscribe to the secondary channel, because there's a lot of things that I'm covering here that I don't cover over there, and vice versa. So go check that out if you can. I got a little bit of breaking news that I'm going to give you guys before we get into this piece of information and this whole video that we're going to be watching. Okay, so just wanted to let you guys know. And of course, you know, man, but hit that join button down below, become a member, check out my Patreon, check out my locals, please and thank you. That would be amazing. Of course, let's not forget, check out PascalMerch.com. Your boy's working hard out here, and I got some really great stuff, really great merch and all that. So please go check that out if you can. That would be greatly appreciated. Let's not forget to do that as well, okay? And of course, check out my GoFundMe. The link is up on the top. We are doing a Christmas special. We're nearing the end of it. We're not done yet. We're still shooting a lot of stuff. Still a very busy time, guys. But it's going to be great. I can't wait to share it with you guys. It's going to be really fantastic. So check it out. If you can contribute, a little goes a long way. Of course, every person that has contributed will be getting a shout out, a special placement on the show. And you will hear about that when the show goes down. I'm really looking forward to it. Okay. But real quick, before we get into the main conversation, unfortunately, we have to bring up this situation. There is some breaking news right now as we speak. Okay, there has been another mass tragedy. I'm not kidding. Another one, but this time now it's been in Towson, Maryland. We have 7 people that were actually hit, 7 injured, with 1 that has actually perished. Now, I don't know a whole lot about this, because like I said, as I was getting ready for this particular show, that's when I started to see some updates revolving around this breaking news. Just wanted to let you guys know what is going on. Okay, so there's a mass tragedy that occurred in Towson, Maryland. All right, Tuesday night tonight in Towson, Maryland. Okay, so Fox 45 reports that 7 people were hit, and 1 is unalive. 1 has lost their life following a tragedy. Someone went in this particular area at a funeral home, by the way, and opened fire. Can't even say goodbye to your loved ones a proper way without worrying about dodging bullets, for crying out loud. So Baltimore County Police Department says multiple people were transported to area hospitals. So this is what they're saying. They're investigating a situation that occurred on the 8500 block of Loch Raven Boulevard this evening. Multiple people have been transported to area hospitals. This remains an ongoing investigation. Now, I don't know if the assailant has been neutralized or arrested, or if this this monster is on the run, but they still haven't said much about what's going on. So we don't know yet. And of course, Jay Blaze, I don't know if it's gang related. I don't know if this has to do with some sort of street beef or anything of that sort. Don't know if this is just a disgruntled employee that walked in and opened fire. Don't know anything about that. All I know is that 7 people have been hit. 1 person lost their life so far. And I do not know if the assailant is on the run or not. So just so you guys know about that. And again, yeah, I was just about to say that, Pam. You read my mind. All right. We're only days away from Christmas time. We're only days away from Christmas time. And we are in this situation. We're a week and a day, 8 days away from Crema. And we out here acting a damn fool. People losing their damn lives. Again. So, but again, this is a saga that just continues like a broken record every time. The only difference is the person, the assailant, and of course, the amount of people that lose their lives. It's the same story. Something's got to stop. Something's got to give. This is getting very frustrating. And and this is one of the reasons why I was like, okay, I could talk about this, but I was like, no, I need a little bit of a break from the what happened in the other thing. We gonna dive into this for sure. We will talk about that for sure. When there's more information, we will talk about it. But even for myself, with everything that's been going on with the situation at the Catholic or the Christian school, I'm like, okay, we need to talk about this. Okay, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about this situation and see and catch up with this other case as well, and then we will come back. Okay, we will come back to this, but this is what's going on. If I know anything more, if anything pops up, I will talk about it. I will let you guys know. I promise. Okay. But one of the things that we are here, the main reason why we are here is something happened over the past 48 hours that I thought was very interesting. And this was wild because this kind of flew under my radar. I didn't even see this. No one talked about this until after the fact, which is weird to me. But I'm going to show it to you. You know, Forbes put it up online. Okay, put it up on their YouTube channel. There was a press conference by Jay-Z's lawyer. I'm literally not kidding. They literally had a press conference. So Alex Shapiro had a press conference on behalf of Jay-Z, basically saying, hey, all this information about this woman this new Jane Doe that's come forward and said all of this, all right? Yeah, and a PowerPoint. And a mother-loving PowerPoint. So again, I'm like, what the hell? What the hell's going on? No, beautiful disaster. I did not know about this at all until it was done, until after the fact, until I heard about other people saying, yeah, there was a press conference and Jay-Z's lawyer is talking to the press, basically saying, hey, the information that is out here about these accusations against Jay-Z don't math. The math ain't mathin'. You must drop this case, drop this lawsuit, because what they're saying about him is not true. She's in this interview and she can't even get her story straight. That's literally what he's saying. This is what this guy is saying. Real talk. And he's pulling up things. He doesn't have to have a whole PowerPoint presentation, but I get it. He's getting paid. So he's going, see, Jay-Z, I put out a PowerPoint presentation. So you know for a fact your money's getting well spent right now. So he had a press conference, y'all. A doggone press conference on behalf of Jay-Z. And of course, let's not forget the first part I said in here on the title. Jay-Z also, or according to his lawyer, is denouncing friendship with Diddy. He's saying Jay-Z, and I paraphrased. Obviously, he didn't say this. Look at Alex Shapiro. Does he look like the type of attorney that says we ain't friends? Yeah, he doesn't say it like that. He's like, no, I believe they are not buddies. They are not friends. They have done business together, and that is it. But let's be real. If it was Jay-Z in real life, he'd be like, hell no, we ain't friends. The hell is wrong with you? We ain't friends. Who here thought we were friends? And watch, everybody in the room would have been like this. Yeah, all of us. Yeah, I think, yep, all of us in this room thought you guys were friends. Sorry, sir. We all thought you guys were friends. I mean, there's plenty of videos, photos, etc., of them having the grandest of times, rubbing elbows with each other. And I don't mean in that spicy biblical way. I'm just saying they seem to be good friends. They seem to be sharing libations that aren't spiced or that aren't spiked, breaking bread with each other, doing business with each other for show. So you mean to tell me that you aren't friends? Yeah, Antique, no doubt. New phone, who dis? He's like, Diddy who? Diggy? Who Diggy? Who Diggy? Puff who? Who the hell calls themselves Puff? Who this? New phone. No, I ain't never seen you in my life. Who are you talking about? What you talking about? Oh, all those photos of us together and stuff? Cheersing, champagne, popping bottles and all that stuff, being in the same room, all of that was AI. Yes, all of that mug was AI. We ain't friends. The hell? Let my lawyer. Let my esquire. Cause we ain't friends. We ain't never been friends. That doesn't make any sense to me, guys. It doesn't. Yes, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Yes. We're back for a brief moment until we go back to more doom and gloom, which is the more people losing their lives in these streets for no reason whatsoever. But other than that, let's get back to this story. So he is claiming that his lawyer is claiming that they are not friends. Let me show you what I mean. And it's also written in black and white. Let's take a look at this. Okay. And of course, his lawyer did have a meeting or an interview on NBC, the same network that did the interview with that Jane Doe, where her story ain't mathing. The timeline ain't timelining. There are massive holes in her story. Same NBC, same reporter interviewed Diddy's lawyer, and they had some things to talk about as well. So we are going to be looking at that as well. That is going to be on the docket for tonight's show, okay? But they said no. This lawyer said no friendship or long-time bond here. Do you realize? I'm sorry, I have to hit this button again. Hold on. Let me explain something. The reason why it's a dun dun dun, because it is showing that he's lying, guys. This is a bold-faced lie. You gotta be kidding me. Look at this. They're walking down the red carpet at an event together, standing next to each other. You tell me y'all ain't friends? Y'all don't F with each other? And I don't mean in the spicy way. I'm just saying y'all don't rock with each other. Not at all. Not at all. Come on now. Everybody named Mama is now looking at the situation and going, wait a second. Is he lying? Could he be lying? Because why would he suddenly say, denounce the friendship of Diddy? Why would he do that? Out of nowhere. It makes no sense. Hold up. We're going to get into this. We're going to go into this. You know what I'm saying? This is what the court of public opinion is saying right now, because they're looking at it, they're going, wait, why did he didn't have to go that extra mile. Hold up, before we go into this, he didn't have to go that extra mile. He didn't have to denounce his friendship with Diddy. He could still sit there and go, nah, I'm innocent. Y'all are losing your mind. Yes, I'm friends with him, but I didn't know he did that ish. And look, you see this Jane Doe, what she's saying ain't equating. What house? What house is she talking about? That was 20 minutes away from where the 2000 VMAs was in New York City. What house? What big ass white house with a U driveway? Where's that? You talk to some dudes from Good Charlotte? Yeah, Good Charlotte? And they say they were somewhere else on tour? More of your story, your dad don't even back up your claims either? This is all that Jay-Z had to say. His lawyer did not need to take a step further and say, in fact, everybody, in fact, Jay-Z and Diddy aren't even friends, baby. They're not even friends. Stop with the lies. That's not true. Now, I get it. You could be in the same room at the same time, taking a photo with somebody and going, hey, I just met him and we just happen to be standing next to each other in that particular video or in that particular photo. But you mean to tell me that every photo that you have with each other, y'all ain't friends? Those just happen to be happenstance? That you guys happen to be sitting right next to each other, walking down the red carpet together, posing with each other every single time? That just happens to be a coinky dink? Stop. That makes no sense. So he didn't have to take a step further. He didn't have to say a damn thing. He didn't have to say this. His lawyer, I'm wondering if his lawyer spoke out of turn and just felt so emboldened, so hardcore about his feelings about Diddy and trying to distance Jay-Z from Diddy as much as possible that he said, in fact, they're not friends. There is no long-time bond here. They don't rock with each other. That should have been something Jay-Z said himself. That's what should have happened. Not his lawyer, because now it looks weird. He's never said anything in the statement where he said, hey, we ain't friends. We damn sure ain't friends. He's never said that. Not one of these statements that he's put out has he ever said, yo, all these things are lies, but by the way, I'm not even friends with him. We ain't even friends. He's never said that. So why is this lawyer suddenly coming out and saying, yeah, we ain't friends. They ain't friends. That makes no sense. He was starting to get out in the clear for real. And then that lawyer dragged his ass back in the muck. Because now everybody, the court of public opinion is going, man, this dude lying. This dude cap. He didn't have to say that. He didn't have to say a damn thing. You were doing just fine, lawyer. You were doing just fine. And then you had to add that. And now everybody's like, sup with that though. That's weird. You didn't have to say that, bro. Now you all, y'all ain't. Okay. Let's take a look at this real quick, and then we're going to this press conference. We're going to take a look at that press conference. Jay-Z's lawyer made a point to distance his client from Diddy in an interview with NBC News, which we are going to see that interview after the press conference. So we're going to relive this moment again in all of its glory. All right. So he had this interview on NBC Monday saying there's, quote unquote, no friendship between the two after they were being accused of, in this lawsuit, of R-ing a little. The rapper's attorney, and I'm sorry, it's Alex Spiro. I'm sorry, I didn't mean Shapiro. Alex Spiro told NBC News in an on-camera interview, he said this on camera. This was not like him in some shadowy, like, you know, dark silhouetted video with his voice modulated or anything. His face is all up in that mug. Okay. You could see it, tongue wagging. And he said there's no friendship or long-time bond here. And added that just because they knew each other know each other doesn't mean anything. Now, okay, I get it. You're in the same industry. The industry, at least in that world, when you're at that level, the industry is small. Let's be real. It is very small. But at the same time, you're not, so y'all don't canoodle. Y'all ain't, if y'all ain't friends, you're not standing with each other. Never. But there's plenty of videos and stuff where they're standing next to each other, laughing their asses off, stuff like that. So make that make sense. Now, maybe they're not friends anymore, but what about back in 2000? What about back in 2003? What about any time? You're telling me they were never friends? Not never friends at all? I'd like to challenge that. I get it. Over time, you grow apart. People do certain things that maybe you don't rock in that kind of fashion and whatnot. But there's so many photos and videos of them together. So make that make sense. How would they not be friends? Now, I understand that there have been some people that have been looking at this, and of course, this particular Jane Doe accuses the Jay-Z and Diddy of doing this unbelievable act while a female celebrity B, that's what is named, that's what is written in this document, watches on the sidelines, watches these crimes happen between Jay-Z and Diddy. This is what they're being alleged of doing. Now, this Jane Doe says that this whole thing happened in 2000 VMAs at an after party for the VMAs. Now, I know that other people have been looking at things and saying, wait a second, maybe she had the year wrong. Maybe it was 2003 and not 2000 and all that stuff. But at the same time, though, the things that she does say do not math. Doesn't mean that she's lying. Doesn't mean that what she's telling is not true. But at the same time, it does throw up a lot of red flags and and it causes people to make some big questions or ask some big questions. And of course, it leaves a lot of room for reasonable doubt that maybe because it's not super accurate and all that maybe she could be lying, or maybe this is something that she believes happened to her, but it never happened. It was just something that formulated in her own mind and all that. Those things are very possible too. Let's just be honest. We have to leave that on the table too. She could be telling 110% the truth with a few things a little foggy, or she could be fabricating this whole thing. That is the spectrum here. That is it. This really happened to her, or this did not happen to her at all, and this is one big fabrication. And then there's all the possibilities in between. But what sucks about it is once we hear those problems and that we see that there's inconsistencies in her story, of course the court of public opinion is going to be quick to say, nah, Jay-Z innocent. Forget that. She's lying. And that's exactly what Jay-Z did too. He hopped on that quick and said, listen, see what Tony Busby did? He filed and then he doubled down in the public to the media. And then, of course, Jay-Z basically said he will pay. We will make sure that Tony Busby regrets making this mistake. Regrets coming at me. Right? But then the lawyer, of course, has been filing all kinds of paperwork, which we have talked about, where he says, hey, man, hey, judge, hey, man, yeah, we need you to drop this. You need to dismiss this entire thing because what she's saying ain't mathin'. Nothing what she says is mathin'. The math ain't mathin'. It doesn't make sense. But here's the thing. We have yet to hear anything from any judge saying, yeah, we're going to dismiss it. It's what, Wednesday? Or it's Tuesday, I'm sorry. And we still haven't heard anything from the judge in which they sent this motion to dismiss this particular case, this lawsuit. Judge ain't said nothing. Hasn't said, okay, you're right. Let's drop it. He hasn't said anything yet. And I think that's partially why his lawyer, Jay-Z's lawyer, is out here doing this press conference Monday, because he's trying to force this judge his hand. He's trying to force this judge's hand to sit there and go, okay, let's dismiss it. I see what you're saying. Now that the court of public opinion is now swinging on the side of, yeah, drop this, man, drop this, dismiss it. I guess I got to drop it. I guess it's not enough information, not enough information that is solid enough for me to believe that this is an actual crime that was committed by these two. So, yeah, I guess we got to drop it. But that's not the case. The judge hasn't done anything yet. Now, anything can happen between now and Friday. A lot can happen. Maybe tomorrow morning he dismisses it. And if he does, that's fine. That's what the judge put out here. That's the judge's decision. Anything's possible. But you can see that there's some sort of desperation going on here. That's what it feels like. That's what it definitely feels like. Jay-Z, and I understand, I'm not knocking Jay-Z for trying to push himself away, as far away as he can from Diddy. Because you got to remember, though, too, this is not only destroying his rep, his name, this is also destroying his business opportunities. Things for his wife as well. I get it. If I was innocent and I didn't do anything, I'd want to find as much as I can to get the hell away. Do as much as I can to get as far away from a monster as I could. Absolutely. But now we're back. Alex Spiro, sorry, I said Shapiro before, but it's Alex Spiro, says, hey, we're doing a press conference and I'm trying to bring y'all to the light. We having a come to Jesus moment right here. Okay, guys. And I'm going to tell y'all, my man, the person I'm representing, is innocent. And this information is BS. Because right now, everybody out here in these streets is side-eyeing Jay-Z now, too. So I'm trying to get the court of public opinion to sway on the side of, well, maybe he didn't do it. Maybe he is actually innocent. Maybe. That's exactly what he's doing right here with this presser. But it's so eerie and so odd because this presser just kind of right under the radar. Because you know for a fact, if this was a thing, we would have been on this. We would have been talking about this for sure when this whole presser went down. So odd to me, this one. And yeah, a PowerPoint. He really did have a PowerPoint. He had time today. Highlighting and everything. We gonna look at it. But like I said, this lawyer's doing his job. He's making that money. So he's trying to make sure he gets that money signed, that check signed and delivered. Okay. But yeah, I mean, Will Camp, her story is odd. It ain't mathing. And you're going to hear right here, Alex Spiro drops everything. He's like, yo, you talk about a house. Where's the house? Like I said, he brings in all good points. He's bringing in good points. I'm not sitting here saying that what he said is not. I'm not sitting here saying that what he's saying is wrong. He's got strong points here. But will it be enough to sway a judge into going dismissed? I don't know. We'll find out. But let's take a look at this. I'm going to be jumping in and out of this because, for fair use and all that crap. Okay? Just a heads up. Let's rock and roll.
The details. The details are very important in time. So we start off with the location. And according to their complaint, after approximately 20 minutes, she arrived at a White House with a U-shaped driveway and a gate. There is no such location in New York.
Sorry, really quick. Sorry, just so you know, this PowerPoint has animation. Look at all the moving stuff. Animation. Man, how much does he get paid? Damn. With the animation PowerPoint presentation. Damn.
20 minutes from Radio City. It does not exist. There is no such location. We don't know whether they created a location in order to try to get jurisdiction in New York so they could bring this case in New York, or whether they just didn't do their homework. But any New Yorker knows there is no such location. Beyond that, this was supposed to have taken place at Mr. Combs' after party, according to them. When you look at the homes associated with Mr. Combs during that period of time, and even not during that period of time, none of them matches. He had a townhouse, he had a house in the Hamptons hours away, and he had homes in New Jersey, but not at that time. None of the homes work, the location doesn't work, because this never happened.
Okay. Dude did his homework. He said, hey, she said she was in a car for 20 minutes and then showed up to this big White House with a U-shaped driveway and all that. 20 minutes driving in any direction in New York. True. Where are you going to find a house like that on the island? Going to be a little tough. In 20 minutes. I'm talking about 20 minutes, not 40 minutes, not 30, not 30, not an hour. We talking 20 minutes in a car in New York City traffic after one of the biggest events in New York, VMAs. You're telling me you're not going to be stuck in some sort of traffic? He's got a point here. 20-minute drive from Radio City Music Hall is quite a drive. But that's going like down the mother-loving street in New York time. Okay? Yes, I also heard that too, buddy. I thought it was, so that's interesting. So Agnifilo, the lawyer that is representing Diddy, I thought it was him that was representing also Luigi. But Luigi, the guy who took out the United Healthcare CEO, yeah, I thought it was him who was representing Luigi. But if it's his wife, that's some wild stuff. That's wild, man. Shoot, they're gonna be busy. They ain't gonna have no quality time for a long time. The Agnifilo house is gonna be cold. Okay, cold, not hot like a tamale. Okay, no fireworks going off in that house. They all gonna be nose deep in paperwork. Okay, let's continue on though. So he has a good point here as far as 20 minutes in a car, in a limo, after a big old event. You really going to get to a White House with a U-shaped driveway in New York City? I don't know.
And again, when you really bear down on the location and its whereabouts, you quickly realize, because if there's photographic evidence and witnesses are coming forward, that Mr. Carter was at a commercial establishment after the VMAs. He wasn't at a house. Unfortunately for them, they needed to create this house in order to create the narrative. But he wasn't at a White House that did not exist. And this is a photograph of him at a location after the VMAs. So as we can continue through this, that Jane Doe does not say that the assault happened at a commercial establishment. She can't. That wouldn't make any sense. Yet they stand by it. They double down. They triple down. White House, White House. The White House doesn't exist. And then we get to the witnesses. And I think at the outset, everybody has to remember that in 24 years, not a single witness has ever come forward saying this happened. Quarter of a century. Think about that. She says she's at the party alone, this 13-year-old girl, and she finds herself in the room with the three most famous people at the party. Just think about how unnatural, how little common sense that makes.
Okay, let me say this. That's not that. Come on. It's not like this is some wild like this is not even a possibility. Stop. It's still a possibility. It just means that, I mean, this situation is really wild, but it doesn't mean that it can't happen. There have been plenty of other people, and I'm not talking about Jay-Z, the Jay-Z part, but there's been plenty of other people that have been at these freak-offs where they were in these freak-offs. So it is possible that people would go into this party and get attacked. Let's not forget, there are other people that were at these parties, working even, given a drink, felt woozy, got thrown into a limo and viciously attacked. Again, these are all allegations, and I know that doesn't connect. That's not connected or related to Jay-Z, but at the same time, people are still going into these parties and then becoming the prey and becoming victims. So it's not like this is a far-fetched situation. It's just, like I said, she may have her days, she may have her years wrong. She may have the wrong guys, the wrong people. There's so many different other things that could happen. Yes, exactly. Cassie was attacked at these parties too. So again, it's just, like I said, what he's saying here, I get it, but it's not a far-fetched idea.
And according to her, one of the witnesses is a female celebrity who's just standing there watching the repetitive rape of a child. That celebrity does nothing, says nothing, reports nothing. And in fact, they won't even identify her. According to them, there's an adult female in the room watching the rape of a child. They refuse to identify her.
Because they have, from my understanding, they refuse to identify her right now because I'm sure there is a demand letter that has been sent to this celebrity B, female celebrity B, and they're waiting for this woman, this female celebrity B, to either meet up, have mediation, or not respond at all so that they can expose that name. That's something for sure as well. Like I said, I don't think that Busby looked at this situation and just, I feel like there's a lot that he could have done to solidify this a little bit more. But again, I'm still waiting to hear if there's going to be if there really is going to be a lie detector test. But even for me, I don't think that a lie detector test is enough with this particular situation, because she could truly believe, I'm just saying this out loud, she could truly believe that she really is a victim. If it's all fabrication, she could be fabricating it in her own mind, believing that it is true. So like I said, I don't know if a lie detector test is going to be strong enough or enough.
So then we continue, and you look and there's celebrities that she says she's mingling with before. Afterwards, she says she runs out of the house naked. None of them notice that. None of them pay any notice. For 24 years, none of them has said anything. And so she's just asked in this interview, she's asked, well, celebrities are recognizable people. Surely you can tell us one celebrity that was there. Just give us one name so that we know this happened. And she says, okay, Benji Madden was there. And she wants to conjure up religion and say, I'm religious. I remember his tattoo. She looks and remembers so vividly the tattoo and the conversation with Mr. Madden. Well, Mr. Madden wasn't there. He already said he wasn't there. His tour schedule said he wasn't there. And he wasn't there because this never happened. None of this ever happened. And you keep going and you ask yourself, well, who is this complaining witness? She does not come forward with her real name. She proceeds under Jane Doe.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm sorry, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's plenty of people that have filed under Jane Doe's to protect their name and protect their image, etc. Because let's be real, as soon, if her name is ever leaked, it's going to be a frenzy. It's going to be an absolute media frenzy. So so for him to sit there and say, oh, she's a Jane Doe, she's hiding behind a name, doesn't mean anything to me, y'all. It doesn't. But there are some good points here that he's going to point out in just a second.
There's no report to the police. According to her, she never tells anybody for 24 years. Not one person, not alone in the car for 5 hours at home, on her way home. Not one person, not a diary, not a family member, not a friend. Most people, when this happens, there's a need to tell somebody. We call these prompt outcry witnesses. In most complaints like this, people tell somebody. She says nobody for 24, 25 years. And then we get to the details. And I want to make sure this is clear. When people make up an account, whether intentionally or their mind is playing tricks on them, they can always get that core part of the story right. They can just keep repeating it over and over and over again. This is what happened, that core part. But they're always going to mess up the details. When something isn't real, when something doesn't happen, you're going to get the details wrong because you weren't really there. And so she starts with her story about her friend that dropped her off. Okay? This drive of over 5 hours, the friend would have had to have gone 10 plus hours to drop her off because she's got to get there. If this is real, she's got to get there. But guess what? This friend of hers, she doesn't get out of the car, right? Think about that. She's just leaving a 13-year-old girl alone in Midtown. She doesn't even want to get out of the car. She came all that way. There can't be a witness there. She can't have a witness there because this never happened. So as you keep going, you ask yourself,
got a good point.
How did she end up in the car in the first place? And so she creates this story. She says, I snuck out the window, right? But now we know she came from Rochester. So she would have been sneaking out of the window at 3 p.m. in the middle of broad daylight. Never heard of such a thing, defies common sense, doesn't make any sense because this never happened. And so
Hold on.
She tells this.
Hold on. Now, here's the thing. Just because it is possible for someone to sneak out at 3 o'clock in the morning or at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's not an asinine. That's not far-fetched. Now, I get what he's saying. And let me say this too. He is making some good points here. He's making some solid points. There's a lot of common sense points that he's making here. But at the same time, it is still possible that she could have snuck out at 3 p.m. Yeah, it's definitely possible. Definitely possible. Now, if I was the parent, it doesn't make any sense that the parent would not know, or at least try to find a way to find her. I don't know. Like I said, it's for me on everything. It's the dad. For me, everything relies on the dad. I'm sorry, but I'm telling you right now, the dad is everything to me. Think about this, and we gonna get through this. I promise. But there's just so much that's being said here, and we got to talk about it now. Everything to me lies on the dad. Lies on the dad, most definitely, because the dad is sitting here saying, "Oh, I feel like I'd remember that." Damn right, you'd remember this. Absolutely. Your daughter, let's just say she does sneak out of her window at 3 o'clock in the afternoon so that she can go see her stars, or to see her people that she idolizes on TV, an opportunity to see the Britney Spears and the Eminems and the Jay-Z's and the Diddy's and all that stuff, right? Then what happens? You're a dad. This is your daughter. She's 13 years old. At some point, you're going to sit there and go, honey, it's time for dinner. Hey, have you heard from her at all? If you still have your wife or a partner, you're going to sit there and go, have you heard from Jane? I haven't seen anything from Jane. Have you talked to Jane? She hasn't come out of her room at all. Baby, it's time to eat. Babe. Janie. Hey, Jane. Baby, you asleep? What's going on? You walk into the room. You walk into the mother-loving room. She gone. Instantly, you're freaking the F out. Where is she? Where did she go? So on and so forth. You're making phone calls. Whatever. You're making phone calls to friends and all that. Also, on top of that, she is autistic. She is mother-loving autistic. Aren't you a little concerned? This, at this moment, is the most terrifying, worst night, worst moment of my life if I were that father. or if I were that parent, and all y'all are listening to this story and listening to this situation too, wouldn't you freak the F out? You'd be in the car driving up and down the neighborhood, trying to find her, wondering where she is, praying to sweet baby Jesus she is okay, and not in the clutches of some type of evil, right? Okay, remember all of that. Remember all of that. Then you finally get a phone call from your daughter saying, hey, I'm in New York City and I need you to come and pick me up. You're where, young lady? Yeah, that's what parents do now. When they're angry, they say, young lady. Where you at, young lady? Right? You go, you hop in your car, you drive 5 hours to go pick her up. She hops in the car, fully clothed, doesn't say anything to you. You turn that car around and you drive a whole 5 hours back. No disciplinary action is made, like she's grounded for like a freaking month or two. Nothing like that. Because and then on top of that, when the father is asked about, do you remember this situation? And he says he doesn't remember it all. This is the most terrifying moment in your life, most likely. God forbid you have more than just this one. But this is at that moment, the most terrifying thing in your life, that your daughter is going to be on the face of a milk carton. Where is Jane? Right? You're thinking of all these terrible things. Life, your heart stops beating. Life, air just got sucked out of your body. Your body is shaking with all the anxiety and all the things that you can think about, right? And then all of a sudden, 24 years later, you're asked about this and you don't remember anything? That's weird. That is weird. That's weird, okay? Everything to me is the dad. As soon as the dad said that, I go, wait a second. This is a bit odd. If he didn't remember this, I'd still be freaking out at 24 years. After 24 years, I'd be like, I remember this like it was yesterday. And I will never forget that because I thought I lost my baby girl. I thought I lost Jane. Right? You're going to remember that. That's trauma. And then when you get her and you bring her butt back home, you're going, you grounded forever. I'm sorry. You're grounded for 6 months. No, I don't want to talk to you. No, I love you. This is the reason why you're punished. You grounded. Nothing. You going to school. You coming back. You're going to have this door wide open. You ain't doing nothing. In fact, nah, you're doing your homework right in this living room every single night forever. Nah, you ain't doing nothing. Right? You'd remember this. So why would the dad not remember? That is the weirdest part. That is the oddest thing. And let's err on the side of caution. Maybe the dad is an a-hole. Maybe the dad is just a non-caring, doesn't care about his own kid. That's a possibility too. We do have terrible parents out here in these streets. But at the same time, I'm assuming that this is a doting father. An attentive, loving, doting father. And if this kind of situation was to ever happen, man, you're going to remember this. You're going to remember this. So let's continue. Again, that's not a definitive answer. That, to me, that is a part that is huge to me. But there are factors that we do not know. We don't know the father. Hey, with all due respect, maybe the father's on the spectrum too. That's a possibility as well. We don't know. But if it was a father that isn't on the spectrum, that is loving or whatever, a good dad, he's going to remember this. He's going to remember this. But let's continue on. We're going to play a chunk. All right?
Story, because she's got to create a way that she gets out of the house and ends up in New York City. And as we keep going here, the friend that implausibly leaves her there's then some pressure on that part of the story because it doesn't make any sense. And so the lawyer is asked, well, just produce the friend. And so he has to find somebody that can make this work. And of course, as soon as he's pressed, They find somebody who they say is no longer alive. They can't corroborate it, and there's nobody to talk to. Okay, and if we can keep going. Next slide. So she then gets there, right? And she has this vivid tale of watching it on a Jumbotron. It's in her complaint. Clear as day. There was no Jumbotron that year.
Oh.
Okay? I don't know whether they were Googling images and found the wrong year. I don't know whether she's just making it up out of whole cloth. There is no Jumbotron. In fact, they didn't even get a permit, according to the police and the city, for the Jumbotron that year. So that didn't happen. None of the details are right because this never happened. If we can keep going.
Diggity damn.
And then she says, I'm knocking on the doors and the windows of limousines and VIPs.
Mm-hmm,
of course, that doesn't work either. If you look at the video, photographs, that whole area was blocked off. We've spoken to numerous people there that were in security. No one could have gotten anywhere near those cars because this never happened. She gets that fact wrong. And you know, the whole story about, of all people, she knocks on Puff's window. 13-year-old girl in Midtown by herself. Just think about that. Think about how illogical that is. Keep going. Again, this is Eminem performing in the streets. No Jumbotron. All the cars barricaded. Her facts don't check out because this never happened. We keep going. So what ends up happening then, and this is important, is her original account in the original complaint says that at 9:30 or 10, she's told to wait there to get a ride to the after party. Okay? That also doesn't work because there's photographs now of Mr. Combs, Mr. Carter at commercial establishments in New York after the VMAs. So this narrative of at 10 o'clock she ends up at this party can't work. They got caught. So they change it in the amended complaint that there's this multiple drop off and pickup that lands them at this White House that doesn't exist. So as we continue, this is again her account of trying to change the story into this multiple drop-off period to get them at the house to deal with the fact that there's photographic evidence that that's not where the after party was in the first place. And so as this account continues, you have to look at the timeline. You have to look at the timeline. So there's an old expression that time doesn't lie. Everything else that I'm talking about, these glaring inconsistencies, these are not minor inconsistencies. These are not minor problems with this story. This is utter falsehoods. Time never lies. And so if you look at the time, no matter what, this couldn't have happened. It's not even possible that this happened. And this is so important. So again, now that we know that it's a 5-hour drive in each direction, how she gets to the VMAs, okay, we're going to talk in some detail about this White House and whether or not they could have gotten there. And then again, Doe returns home to Rochester, okay? And this is very important. Because she returns home, she has to leave the New York area by 1:30 in the morning at the latest, okay? If you look at any of these White Houses and you look at the closest gas stations that could be to any of these White Houses, you have to leave this White House party by 12:45 in order to get to the gas station at 1:30 to call your father to pick you up to get home to Rochester at 6:30. So remember, she only has till 12:45 for everything that she says to have happened. The VMAs end at after 11. So you're talking about a window of a little more than an hour that this could possibly have happened even by their own account. And she says during that little bit more than an hour, not only does she get to the house, not only is she inside mingling with celebrities, she has a drink. She's then sexually assaulted in front of an adult female multiple times. She gets out of that. She fights through it. She leaves the house naked. She gets all the way to the gas station. She had 37 minutes to possibly do this.
So one thing I'm wondering about is why he says 1:30. Why is he saying 1:30? Why is there such a cutoff time for her to get to this gas station at 1:30? That's one thing I'm still kind of confused about, but hopefully he explains it a little bit more here in a second. But he's saying stuff that he's got a good point. No argument about here. No argument about this. He's got solid points. Again, the math ain't mathin'. I get that. But, oh, it closes. The gas station was closing. Okay. But see, that's the other thing I want to point out too. If they can find the clerk that let her use a phone to call, That'd be helpful. So if she ran out, she fought, she gets attacked, she fights Combe, she runs out the resident, in her birthday suit, clinging onto her clothes. She runs out, she gets her clothes on, she runs down to a gas station, which is, from what it sounds like, maybe, a little bit away, right? Goes to the gas station. She speaks to an actual clerk at the gas station. That particular person says, okay, I'll let you use my phone. Use the gas station phone. That's when she's able to call her dad, and then her dad goes down, picks her up, 5 hours later, picks her up, and then takes her back home. Another 5 hours back home, right? The other person that could corroborate her story is that gas station clerk. Also, could she name the actual gas station? Could she actually, or maybe point out the gas station if she was to, you know what I mean? I know this is 24 years ago, but even so, something this traumatic, I don't know. I just feel like somebody would remember some of these things. Okay. But again, it's not like he's not making good points. They're solid points. He's speaking logically. But the other part that's pretty wild to me too is that she talks about a Jumbotron, watching the whole thing on a Jumbotron, and that Jumbotron was not there in 2000. And that's something else to think about too. So, okay.
Okay, even under their account. Okay. And of course, the biggest problem perhaps of all is there's photographs putting Mr. Combs and Mr. Carter at different places, not in a White House during that 37 minutes. So when I tell you that it's not just that this story is a lie and that it's not true, it's provably, demonstrably false. This never happened. So we talked about this 37 minutes. The earliest, even if we didn't have that establishments. Remember, this is innocence on top of innocence. Even if we didn't have that, according to her, the earliest they could have gotten to the house is 12:11. And the reason for that is if the VMAs end and the drive is 20 minutes, the driver has to go there, drop them off, come back, pick her up, bring her back. She can't get there. And again, this is lickety split. This is as fast as is possible, okay? This is no traffic leaving Radio City in Midtown during an awards ceremony. 12:11. She has to leave that white residence by 12:48 in order for her father to pick her up at the gas station. 37 minutes, that's the entire window of opportunity here. So here again is the timeline, shows the 11:11 VMAs end, the drop off, the pickup, and the drop off. Next slide. And again, here we are, you see the 37 minutes. This is the 42 minutes it takes to walk. This is the closest gas station. And this is, remember this is a 13-year-old girl walking who has issues, who is maybe drugged according to her, who's just been viciously raped multiple times, who was holding her own clothing trying to get to a gas station that she had never been before. Okay? No map, no cell phone, no nothing. Straight line, it's 42 minutes. Okay? The story doesn't work, it doesn't check out. Okay? This never happened. Next slide. These are all the things that they claim happened in that 37 minutes. Okay, and again, 37 is giving them every benefit of the doubt as how long this window could be. Every benefit of the doubt. But here's an even bigger problem. There are photographs of Mr. Carter and Mr. Combs at commercial establishments during the 37 minutes. They're not there. Even if you try to come up with the fastest possible timeline, I'm talking about no traffic, nobody getting in your way at the door, right to the bar kind of timeline, it still doesn't work because they had to leave Radio City, they had to go to the commercial establishments. Mr. Combs is photographed at 2 different commercial establishments with Jennifer Lopez, 2 establishments. They had to go to both of those establishments and get back to the White House. Get back to the White House before she has to leave at 12:30. None of this can work. And in fact, and I think this is very important, you will notice in the photographs that Miss Lopez changes clothing between the 2 events that they go to. in New York City. You can see in one photograph, she's wearing one outfit and another. So she had to be able to, in this 40-minute window, get to multiple events. They're seen drinking, socializing. She has to change outfits, change her hair, all within 40 minutes to get to that White House in time.
Damn. Oh, damn.
And you're saying to yourself, so that's not possible. You're right, it's not possible. It's because this never happened.
That's like Superman and Clark Kent being in the same place at the same time. It's not possible. That's insane. And that's a strong point. And also, from my understanding, at least back then, and I don't know if that, I don't know. I mean, we now know now, but maybe it's not true, but maybe it doesn't apply to back then. But from my understanding, JLo doesn't really drink either, right? She doesn't really kick it like that. So that shaves off a little bit of time. But you're telling me that if she was moving around, she'd be changing in the car? And why would she need to change in the car that quickly or that desperately? You know what I'm saying? To go to a whole other place, a White House with a U-shaped driveway and all of that. I mean, he's making some solid points here, guys. Damn. Yeah, that timeline ain't timelining. And again, she could have gotten the wrong year. That is possible. She could have the wrong year. But then it's like, what year is that then? Still, the timeline ain't timeline, and still with what has happened to her. So I see his point here. It's a solid point. Solid point.
And then we get to the end. She kept running until she reached a gas station. A female clerk noticed her, allowed her to use the phone. Plaintiff called her father, admitted that she had lied about her whereabouts. Mm-hmm. And this is a very small thing, very small. But you remember, when you leave house and you're 13, you have to have a story. You either have to sneak out and not have a lie, or you tell your parents a lie. Sort of two options, right? Yeah. Earlier, she says, well, I didn't tell my parents a lie. I just snuck out the window, right? Here, she says, well, I lied. See, do you know what that means?
No.
That means she's lying within her own story. They can't both be true.
And no, it can be both. Both can be true at the same time. She could literally go and sneak out without him knowing. I mean, still her timeline ain't timelining. Okay. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna keep it a bean. It's not, the timeline ain't timelining. Okay. At least how he's breaking it down, it does, what he's saying makes sense. But this is the part I disagree on, because you could easily sneak out. Yeah, you could still sneak out. And then when you go and call up, it's like, maybe you did lie. I'm just saying, you could have lied saying, yeah, I'm going upstairs. I'm not feeling very well. Whatever she could have said, she could have lied to him and went upstairs, closed the door, hopped out the window. Then all this bad stuff happened. She calls him and says, yeah, I lied. I'm really over here now. So that's still possible. Okay. But still, the timeline ain't timelining. And that's hard facts right there. Let's continue on, though. Let's continue.
And, I said earlier that no witnesses have come forward in basically a quarter of a century, except for one. Now there's one. Her own father. The person who knows her best. And he came forward, too. And he said, you know what? This never happened. This never happened.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
And his attention was drawn to it.
That's a big deal.
I feel like I would remember that. And they said, but you've got a lot going on. Maybe you forgot this. You've got a lot going on. They told him, listen, you've got a lot going on. Try to see if they pressed him, if he stuck to his story. He said, yeah, I have a lot going on, but that's something that would definitely stick in my mind.
Absolutely.
Of course it would stick in your mind.
It would.
You drove 10 hours to pick up your 13-year-old daughter in New York City. It's not something you would forget. It's not something that he did forget, because this never happened. And of course, just like the friend that couldn't be there at the beginning, you can't have a witness to something that never happened. When asked, well, what did you say to your father in the car? What did you talk about? Nothing. She says not a word was spoken.
That's weird.
There can't be a conversation because this never happened.
And trust me, if that was my daughter, we'd be having a conversation. It'd be more like a conversation just coming from me. Okay? Especially you're 13, you're doing this. You're doing that. Woo! I'm talking for 5 hours straight. And I think every parent would be doing the same damn thing. You out your mind. What you doing? You 13. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, when you get home, ooh. You know, man, we'd be having a conversation. It'd be a one-sided conversation. But she'd know that, woo, I'm never forgetting this. She's never going to live this one down. I'll never trust her after that. Trust. You know what I'm saying? Hamburger. Let's continue on, though. But the fact that he doesn't remember that, like I said, that is the biggest problem. Yeah. See what I'm saying? That's like military school, son. You know what I'm saying? You're like, okay, you know, I've been dangling the military school thing in your face for a minute now. And I've been saying, you mess one more time, you're going to military school. F it. Military school now. No, it's a wrap. Say goodbye to all your friends. You're going to that spot right there, and they're going to shave your head, and then you're going to be Full Metal Jacket. F that. Trying to play with me? Like, I'd be, oh, my Lord. You know what I'm saying? You would remember this forever. This is not something you live down. In fact, this would be a story that you tell at the wedding. You know what I'm saying? Dad gets a chance to talk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for letting me have this opportunity to speak on behalf of my daughter. I love my daughter. But there was one time I almost killed her dead. Let me tell you a story. All right. She snuck out, 13 years old. Can you believe this stuff? I thought I was about to lose my mind. And I find out that she's out. You know what I'm saying? You would be doing that story at the wedding. And going, and then you wrap it up. I realized that moment, how precious you were to me. You see what I'm saying? You be saying something. Have mercy. So again, not remembering this would be the moment where you realize how much and how important your kid is, right? And you don't know what you do without them, that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that he doesn't remember this, whoo, so weird. Okay, so weird. No. I'm not talking about like the crime. I'm talking about her sneaking out. I'm just talking about the part of her sneaking out. He doesn't know. He's saying he doesn't know anything about the crime. I'm just saying if it was just a simple her sneaking out and she went out to New York and you didn't know all that, man, that is a story you're telling friends. You're talking about that forever because that's some terrifying stuff. Real talk. You're thinking the kid has been, trafficked. You're thinking the kid, anything, right? But then you realize, okay, when she was back in my arms, I was very lucky. And I was thanking my lucky stars. But she got grounded like a mug after that, though. Let's keep it a bean. All right? You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. All right? But let's move on. All right? Yeah. And Laura says, Pascal, you're assuming the dad's a good dude. He's lying. I don't know if he's lying. Okay. I know some people are out here saying, that he got paid off and all that stuff. I don't know about all that. All I know is that this is the crucial moment where he should be standing 10 toes down for his daughter, especially on something that he would remember like it was yesterday. Okay. That's just what I think. Okay. And yeah, not every father-daughter relationship is close like that. You're absolutely right, Pirate Booty. That's absolutely right. I'm just saying what I would do, me personally. Okay. Something like that. I feel like that would be a story you tell, and be like, ain't nothing like a father's love, or ain't nothing like the love that I have for my daughter. And let me tell you what happened. What made me realize how even more solidified my love for my daughter. Here's the story. And you'd say it in some charismatic, very funny way. But in reality, when it really happened, to be absolutely terrifying, right? That's all. That's it. You know what I mean? But moving on, I'm just saying what if and of course, if the crimes never existed, it was just her going with some friends to New York City, being young and stupid, right? Man, I'd be mad. I'd be mad. And that's a story I would never forget. And I'd be telling that story to other people, embarrassing the hell out of her. You know what she did when she was 13? Yeah, she was wild, man. She was crazy. Didn't tell me. Went to New York City without telling me. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. All right. But let's continue on. All right.
And so you got to ask yourself what's going on here, right? And you all saw that videotape of her being interviewed in the shadowy room. She's holding a teddy bear. She's talking about her issues, her head trauma. She's been through a lot in her life, you can tell. And so who took advantage of this? Why are we here? Why is this story getting created? And I'll tell you who took advantage of this. This lawyer took advantage of this. That's what's going on here. And you can see here, now that this is starting to unravel and the truth is coming out, he's starting to walk away from it. He's saying, oh, sorry, this case was referred to our firm by another firm, so I didn't really check it out, is basically what he's saying, right? He brings an accusation like this, attacks a man with the integrity of Mr. Carter, and all he has to say for himself now is, well, I didn't really check on this. I got a referral, trying to make a little bit of money, so we just went live with it. Next. Here is again the timeline that he went live with. In the face of this irrefutable, time doesn't lie evidence, he went live with it. And again, it doesn't work. This 37 minutes, it does not work. It does not work because there's photographs. There's photographs. You can find them on the internet of them. They're changing clothes. She's changed clothes. Do you know how long that takes for her to go to 2 events, change clothes, get inside, have drinks, they're socializing, they're not popping into these events. To then get back out into the suburbs somewhere at a house that doesn't exist? It's not possible. Actually not possible. He is for sure innocent of this accusation. Next slide. But you know, this lawyer, he doesn't care about things like this. The only other person he's brought a complaint against for just mere association, merely being at a Sean Combs party, he's already been wrong about that one too. He had to change that one. If you look at the next slide, he got the year wrong. He said there was a party in the Hamptons. Mr. Combs was in Saint-Tropez at the time. Didn't check out. 2 claims, neither are checking out.
Damn. Now, one thing, Maureen, thank you so much for the comment. Why are you doing this presser before a court of? I think you're saying, why aren't you doing this in front of before a court of law? This is the oddest scene I've ever come across. It is very weird, but I do want to say the reason why he's doing this presser is not only to basically urge, almost plead to the judge that's making this decision whether to keep this lawsuit or not, or to toss it out. This is not only just for that. It's also, he's presenting this also to the court of public opinion. Because remember, the internets have been after Jay-Z. They have. There have been so many allegations that have been out here like crazy with Jay-Z ever since his name was named in this lawsuit. Now people are starting to question his relationship with Beyonce. What happened with the relationship, if they really were dating when she was not of age, and all that stuff. All those things are getting unearthed all over again. Jay-Z doesn't want that. And it's ruining his possibility for other business endeavors, etc. Same thing with Beyonce, because she's, in a way, guilty by association as well. Man, people are trying to throw her under the bus and saying that she's out here unaliving, murking people and stuff. Real talk. Okay, these allegations are serious. So I can see why the attorney is doing this. This is a plea to the court of public opinion, basically saying, hey guys, you guys, no. This lawsuit is wrong. So if you have all these moments that are showing a lot of questions and a lot of red flags, you can't look at Jay-Z in this way. Because this woman, according to this lawyer, to Alex Spiro, he is saying it's because this woman is lying. Let me show it to you guys. But I know why I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Public opinion, here's what I'm presenting to you. Judge, this is what I'm also presenting to you. You look at the math ain't mathin'. Dismiss this case. dismiss it. That's what he's trying to do. And then also saying to the court of public opinion, hey, court of public opinion, be nice to Jay-Z. He's still innocent. Fascinating stuff, guys. This is odd. It is odd. It is odd. I will say that. But man, he's singing for his supper.
We could keep going. And we have this, individuals calling my office telling me story after story. And, I'm not going to get sidetracked. People think I'm going to start saying, explaining he's a grifter and all these things about him. I'm not here to talk about him more than I need to. But
you just called him a grifter, though. Did you just not do that? Okay, moving on.
But there's people calling the office saying, yeah, they were being pressured to say stuff, to say that they were with Mr. Combs. These are affidavits. They're filed in court. This is what you're dealing with here. Next slide. And so this is who took advantage of the woman in the shadowy video. He gives a press conference, 1-800 number, and he claims 2 days after posting that press conference, 2 days, that he has 120 fully vetted plaintiffs, 120. Anybody that does this for real, anyone that knows what they're doing, knows to corroborate, to interrogate, and to be sure about even one person takes weeks. One person. You've got to find out if their story makes sense. Did they really get dropped off? Does any of it check out? Is there corroboration? Are there any witnesses? It takes weeks for one. He had 120 in 2 days. When he files these cases, he doesn't even enter his notice of appearance. He just has some other lawyer file them. He holds these press conferences. He says, listen, anybody out there, just call the 1-800 number. If you can put yourself anywhere near a Sean Combs party, at any point, we can go after the other celebrities there. We can make money together. Just call the 1-800 number. That's all you need to do. And then we'll send a letter to the celebrity. They're not going to want to have this in the public light. And they're going to be shaken down and they'll send us money. So it's just call the number. And Mr. Carter said no. He said, that's not going to happen anymore. I'm going to put my foot down. And that's what he did. And I would urge any other celebrity that's being shaken down right now to do the same thing and to stand with truth. None of this ever happened. And what this 1-800 lawyer is doing, he's taking the justice away from this. He's destroying this opportunity and the voices of real victims. And it's got to end.
Okay. I see what he's saying. I do. Yes, I will also say that it is, we have talked about this before, about the 1-800 number. We did talk about that. When 120 victims or accusers are stepping forward, that's a lot. And it's like, wait a second, are you sure? Are they all properly vetted? Some are going to be lying. We have to remember that. We have to leave that on the table too. Some are going to be lying. Some are telling the truth. Real talk. It's not all 120 are going to be absolutely 110% telling the truth. We have to leave that on the table, guys. You got 1-800 number specifically for the diddler. That's insane. So of course you're going to get 3,000 phone calls and saying, yeah, I'm a victim. Clearly, there's going to be that. But the thing that they have to do, and I'm hoping that Busby's law firm is doing this, I'm hoping that they are properly and fully vetting every single accuser. If they're not doing that, then there's problems. Like this Jane Doe came from a different law firm. This is what Busby said in the statement. Remember? He said, this was referred to by another law firm. And so we scooped up the case. And now we're representing her. He now suddenly goes, oh, now we're going to do, now we got to, she's planning on doing a lie detector test. Well, that should have already been done then. Do you know the full story? And also remember, he's doing 120 lawsuits. Does he have time? Does he have enough manpower to fully vet every single case, to give it the full undivided attention that each and every single case rightfully deserves? Each of those accusers, each of his clients deserve the same amount of energy, same even amount of energy. That's some wild stuff. That's some wild stuff. And I don't know how big that law firm is, but at the same time, that's a lot of people coming forward. And he says there's more, that there could be 300 accusers coming at Diddy. And again, this one right here, this particular Jane Doe does not help the situation. Optically, this makes it look really bad. Optically, it can look like a 1-800 lawyer, and that sucks. Because we want to be on the side of accusers, be on the side of victims, absolutely. But when you see something like that and it's tarnished in this way, yeah, that's instantly when people start side-eyeing and going, I don't know. And then all of a sudden, it messes up the whole batch, the whole enchilada of all these other accusers and all these other victims. As soon as this one is poked at and all her claims are debunked, right? Next thing you know, as soon as we go, oh, damn, Jane Doe, suddenly we go, well, what about the other 119? Real talk. Are they telling the truth or not? Instantly, that's what's happening. And it's a damn shame because let's be real. It shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't. And again, she could have the year off and wrong. I don't know. I have not done the due diligence, and I have not heard her say this Jane Doe has not come back and reiterated or corrected anything as such. All she has done so far is said, "Oh, there's some inconsistencies in what I said." She didn't go, "Sorry, correction, it's not 2000, it's 2003. No, my bad. It's not 2003. It's actually 2010. She doesn't say any of that. She has not corrected any of that thus far. So we can all speculate and say that, and that's fine. Do you? But at the same time, we haven't heard it from the horse's mouth yet. We need to hear it from her too. We need to hear it in a new filing if there is going to be new documents revolving around this particular case. But again, as soon as they do that, this is what's messing up everybody else's story, everybody else's case. Because now we're all going to be like, are they really telling the truth? I mean, some of them are wild. Like the one, she's viciously attacked. Weapons are pulled. She wants to leave. Diddy calls his own mama. Mama on the phone is trying to convince her not to tell anybody about being viciously attacked because of what she said to him in a previous phone call with him, accusing him of what he did, of him being connected to Tupac's unaliving, right? Then all of a sudden, a pew gets pulled out, like and then she poked him with a knife, in the side, and then ran, and then shots were fired down the street in this quiet, ritzy neighborhood. That's another case. That's another lawsuit that is out here. Wild. And that's not one that's being represented by Busby. That's another one that is being represented by Ariel Mitchell Kidd. But at the same time, the allegations are absolutely insane. The wildest thing I've ever heard. And so, of course, when we hear these, then we all of a sudden look at all these other ones and go, wait a second, how much of this is really true? And that's what sucks. It sucks because as soon as we see, damn it, it mucks up the rest of the bunch. It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. But again, this lawyer's doing everything he can to prove for the court of public opinion that this man is innocent. Jay-Z. What say you guys so far? Do you think he's making a solid argument or no? Do you still believe that Jay-Z is a bad guy and did this thing? Or do you think that Alex Spiro has solid points here? Keep it going in the family chat. Let me know. Let's continue on.
So, are there any questions? Yes.
Question. So for the people that are calling your office, I'm assuming if it's not dismissed, like worst case scenario, you guys move forward to try and show that everything that you just told us, what evidence are you guys submitting other than the accounts that are giving you over the phone? Like, or do any of those people calling you, like emails between them and Busby or text conversations where they're encouraging this stuff?
Yeah, so let me divide that question into two if I can. We expect the case to be dismissed. If it's not, eventually this will all crumble because it can't possibly have happened mathematically. You don't even need witnesses. They don't have any witnesses because this never happened, and you don't need witnesses because the time doesn't work. Just there's literally photographic evidence that proves that this could not have happened. In terms of what's going to happen to Mr. Busby for this racket and everything else going on, time will tell. But this is how things unravel. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Who is Lex Intelligence, and has your firm ever hired them in connection with Tony Busby to investigate Tony Busby as he's alleged?
I don't know that firm, don't know those people, and the answer is no.
So this might just be an extension of the first question, but you said that there were people calling saying they were being pressured to say that they were with Mr. Combs. Can you elaborate on that, please? Are they calling you to say that they're being pressured?
Yeah, there was a witness that came forward that contacted my office and submitted an affidavit in court regarding this that accounted for what occurred on that day, which was they called the Busby firm. They said they had an inquiry. The inquiry had nothing to do with Mr. Combs, Mr. Carter, or any of this. And the people at the Busby firm said, well, why don't we try to push this in the direction of the Combs case? That's a better decision in sum and substance. That's a better way to go here. This individual refused to do that, contacted my office and then an affidavit was submitted to court. Yes.
You mentioned the letters that Busby's been sending out to unnamed celebrities in relation to these Combs lawsuits. What were your interactions on behalf of Mr. Carter before he was renamed in the amended complaint?
Well, after the letter was received, we obviously knew this was completely false and we weren't going to be shaken down. So the efforts were nothing because there was nothing to discuss in any meaningful way.
Do you know who the Jane Doe is, like her actual identity? Has there been research into that on your end? Yeah,
because it's a fair question. Because she's been blacked out in the video and because a court has not unmasked her in court, I'm not going to get into her identity. You will notice that I did not get into some of her issues. I don't want to. It's really sad in many respects, and I don't want to get into that. So I'm not going to unmask her here today.
So he knows her. He knows exactly who this woman is. He knows her name and everything. Let me tell you something, though. That could be very, very bad. Let's not forget. This could be very, very bad. Remember, Jay-Z wants to, from what we've seen so far, he wants to take anyone down that is out here trying to destroy his name. He has even said that. He's going, hey, Busby, I'm about to expose that ass. He's really going in on Tony Busby. One thing is for sure. If they really know who this Jane Doe is, that's not good. Just saying that out loud. This could be very bad because, again, if he knows and Jay-Z is desperate to expose everybody who's out here trying to tarnish his name, I could see him accidentally going, oops, I just dropped the file at this particular, at TMZ. Oh, my damn, all the paperwork just fell out of this. Oh, damn, right there in front of your feet. I'm so sorry. Can you pick that stuff up? No, you can keep it. But yeah, I got to go. I am so sorry. All the information that you need to know is right there laying at your feet on this Jane Doe. Have fun. Go ahead and expose her. That can actually happen, yo. You don't think that he's going to sit there and come on now. He's allegedly already. This is what Busby has been claiming, that he's already harassing people of Busby's law firm, Busby's family, etc. So he knows. Jay-Z knows this Jane Doe's name. You don't think that the name is going to leak out if this thing doesn't get dismissed? I'm just saying, it's about to get very spicy. It's about to get very spicy. Let's go on.
Has the accuser tried to reach out to Mr. Carter before, or any of this camp or anyone?
Not to my knowledge. Yes.
Busby indicated that there was a second alleged victim. Has he given any notice that he's pursued that claim as well?
No, and I would hope not after what's going on here. Yes.
Hold on real quick before this next one. Also, you got to remember, allegedly there is a male accuser as well. We haven't heard anything about that male accuser, but allegedly there is. So we haven't seen a press conference about that one yet. This is going to be interesting though, right? It's going to be interesting.
You mentioned in your recent filing on this docket that you were intending to file a motion to dismiss. What's the timeline on that? Are you working on that?
Yeah, so we did file a motion to dismiss the day after this was filed.
Right.
The Rule 11 letter, which basically says that a lawyer is not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to not vet a claim and file a false claim in court, or it needs to come down. The way that that works, and it's a little technical, is that the court has to allow you to file faster than you should otherwise be allowed to file. So we are hopeful that the court will respond today, and we will file that. If not, there are other things that we're going to do to bring the truth to light.
What did I just say? What did I just say? He said there's other ways to bring the truth to light. That's not a bad idea, actually. We ain't friends. Just a t-shirt that says we ain't friends. That's actually not a bad idea. I'm gonna write that down. But yeah, he even just said that. Like I said, they're after blood. They're going for blood, y'all. If things do not go the way that they want them to go, this is about to get gnarly, y'all. It's about to get real gnarly.
Are there any other questions? Yes.
Are there any witnesses who will be corroborating Mr. Carter's testimony that he was not there that night? Or is that sort of what you're hinting at, that if necessary, you will provide those people?
Yeah, I mean, it's like asking to corroborate something that never happened. I mean, there are dozens and dozens of people that are going to say there was no party at the White House, that put all of these celebrities where they're already put in photographs in different places, not at a White House. Remember, according to her, all three of these people, I mean, you all have seen the photographs, I mean, on the internet, and I just showed you some. All three of these people would have had to have been at this White House together, alone in a room. Just think about that. Alone in a room with this 13-year-old girl at exactly the time that they're at commercial establishments. So I mean, there's no proof better than time. But of course, there are going to be people that are going to say that they were all out that night and nowhere near a White House, and they went to an after party to commercial establishment. This is all fantasy.
If this case is dismissed after that, or you guys decided definitely to file anything in addition, like defamation lawsuit?
This issue with a lawyer taking advantage of the situation is going to be dealt with. I can assure you. And I think sort of stay tuned. I think the first thing today was to make sure that everybody understands. This is not an account of inconsistencies. I wanted everybody to understand that this never happened. This is completely false.
I think we got that
and
now.
then we'll move forward from there. Yes.
What is Mr. Carter's account of that night? Does he say he was at multiple locations, just that nightclub, Lotus nightclub that he was photographed at?
Yeah, so I'm not going to get into sort of privileged communications and talk too much about that, but I will say that he was not at any house or any location. They were in New York City. They were at commercial establishments with lots of people around. This is obviously completely false.
How's Mr. Carter feeling?
He's upset. He's upset that somebody would be allowed to do this. It would make a mockery of the system like this. He's upset that this distracts and dissuades real victims from coming forward. He's upset that his kids and his family have to deal with this. He's upset. And he should be upset.
Is your firm investigating Busby, talking to people around him as he's alleged in some of his legal suit, in his suit against Tony Manuel?
Yeah, that suit went nowhere, as you saw. And what happens when people bring frivolous cases and run rackets like this is, of course, we're asking questions. I've got people contacting my office telling me chapter and verse about him. So we don't shut off the phone lines. I'm listening because I'm trying to figure out how this is allowed to proceed like this. Yes.
He posted a photo on his Instagram of 3 men at a door of his client, suggesting that investigators came and said that they would pay $1,000 for plaintiffs to file a suit against him. I mean, do you have any connection to those men that he photographed? Do those men have any connection to Quinn Emanuel?
Zero. Okay. I don't know whether it's completely false or not, but zero connection to those people. Have no idea what that is. Don't know whether he made it up out of whole cloth. Don't know if he's trying to distract from what he's under now. But no, there's no truth to that. Anything else?
Right. Will Mr. Carter say anything more specifically about Mr. Combs? He didn't really address him in his statement, but anything since outlets and internet speculation have tried to affiliate the two of them, he didn't really in his statement specifically say anything about any of the allegations.
I mean, Mr. Carter has nothing to do with Mr. Combs' case or Mr. Combs. They knew each other professionally for a number of years, just like in all professions. People know each other. At the music awards, they support each other. You go to the NBA All-Star game, they support each other. That's just how professions work. There is no closer association between any of them. That's also a matter of fiction. That's all that there is. He doesn't know anything about the charges or allegations against him. He has nothing to do with that case. And there's nothing more to say.
That's so crazy. I'm sorry. That part, I'm like, nah, bruh. Nah. You're telling me that they ain't friends. We ain't friends. Come on. I beg to differ, my brother. Yes, it's possible to be, to know somebody, to be acquaintances and all that, and not be friends. Sure, that's possible. But at the same time, nah. There's plenty of people that I've seen at certain events that, you know, I'm acquainted with, but I've, you know, taken a photo with them or two or something like that. But I've never had a multitude of photos over decades. That just doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. That is a stretch to me. Okay, that is an absolute reach in my personal opinion. Okay, nah, they were friends. Okay, maybe they're not friends once he got arrested, but nah, they knew each other. Come on now. All right, as absolutely just what Gypsy Sparkle just said. No. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish, guys. Let's go. Sorry, that is just a reach.
Yes.
He was doing just fine until just then, by the way. He was doing just fine until right then. But okay.
Filing before, and even after, there's a second, the woman celebrity that even chose in the room. That woman celebrity, whoever that is, has there been any other people that may have been with Mr. Carter or even Puff that night that I reached out to you guys just wanted to know what is happening, just so that they can prepare for kind of even a fight back like Jay-Z is right now?
Well, we know other celebrities have received letters, and we've spoken to other celebrities that were there that night that say this is what they know about this. This makes no sense, couldn't have happened because they were all at a commercial establishment. So I hope that answers your question. Yes.
Was there a specific amount of money or something specific that was demanded of Mr. Carter in this demand letter that was sent to you before the complaint was filed?
There isn't a specific number that has been demanded.
Did they specifically ask for money in the demand letter?
Yeah. So I've been asked this question before. People like this, they don't send demand letters out to not get money. That's all they want. Okay. This is not for truth and justice. This is for money. So the request was to sit down and talk about a way to resolve this matter. And we all know what that means. Yes.
Do you have any plans to release the demand letter?
Not as I stand here today. I'm more concerned with making sure that everybody knows this didn't happen. I know there's a lot of questions about this lawyer and who's after him and how much wrong has he done and these questions, and I totally understand that and respect those questions, but we'll turn to that later. Anything else? Okay.
Okay. That was the full press conference. Now, I know I put a poll up, so I see a bunch of y'all in here, so make sure you go up to the poll and put in your vote, because I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this, okay? Also, let's not forget, there are there's a bunch of y'all in here, so please do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. Let's get it to 1K, all right? A like don't cost a thing. It helps the show. It helps this channel. It helps, all right? So please hit that like button down below. Let's just get it to 1K. Takes 2 seconds. Don't forget to subscribe, please, and thank you. Now, what say you guys on that? We got another interview that we need to take a look at, which we are going to look at very, very shortly. But what say you?
Hey, Alex.
What say you on that? Do you think that Alex Spiro made some strong arguments, or do you think it's absolute trash? Do you think it's trash or no? The ending just destroyed me. I'm like, oh, come on. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to say all that. You didn't have to sit there and say they weren't friends. You didn't have to say that. Stop. Everything was fine until then, man. You were doing great. Until then. I think he's making very solid arguments. I will say that. Aside from him saying they ain't friends, that is just it's comical, in my personal opinion. But that does not mean, just because he's friends with Diddy does not automatically mean that he's a bad guy. Doesn't mean that he should be on the chopping block. Let me just say that. Any person, we talking about Ray J, we talking about Kuchar, we're talking about DiCaprio, we're talking about every single person that everybody's side-eyeing, even the JLo. Every single person that's side-eyeing those individuals, they can side-eye them all they want. But I'm telling you right now, doesn't automatically mean just because they were walking with them or with them romantically or anything of that sort, does not automatically mean that they're instantly guilty. Unfortunately, in the court of public opinion, they are guilty by association. That is basically it. That is basically it. All right. For right now, until allegations or until solid proof is shown. But we have yet to hear anything about any people so far. Same thing with Jay-Z. Jay-Z has an opportunity to present himself, to argue, to fight this. That's what he's supposed to do. So should we be surprised about him standing up and saying, this is some bull? I don't expect anything different. I don't. Now, if he wants to be aggressive like he is right now, that's on him. I don't think it's the best way of doing it. The presentation with the lawyer is fine, but I'm saying the way he has been saying, conducting himself, the statements that he's been saying out here in these streets, very, very questionable ways of approaching things. Okay, I get you're angry, but now you got to let your lawyer do his thing. Quit talking. Quit making statements, because it's only making you look like you are an aggressive individual, and that's not good right now. I get it, defending yourself. Fully get it. You have every right to do that. But just watch how you're moving in these streets. The court of public opinion is watching. Now, with this lawyer, he said those things. He put those things out. I think he has solid arguments. He's sitting there going, the timeline is not timelining. None of it's making sense. She says 2000, so we're sticking with 2000. You got to remember, I get it that other people are talking about this and saying that it's a different time or it's a different year, but she has yet to say anything in court documents. So when you are you got to understand, and they could be a technicality. Let's not forget that. It can literally be a technicality. By mistakenly saying the wrong year. And Alex Spiro is probably like, yes, yeah, you say 2000. Thank you. Say 2000. It's in the documents, so we got to talk about it. And in 2000, that's inaccurate. No Jumbotron. Where's the White House? Nowhere near a White House in New York City, 20 minutes away from Radio City Music Hall. Tell me where it is. Tell me about the daddy. The daddy's now sitting here saying that he doesn't remember a damn thing. And that's just the tip of the iceberg of what he's covered. So of course he's like, damn right. Jay-Z was in a completely different facility. Oh, let's not forget, Diddy and JLo were at 2 different parties that same night. And she had a costume change. She had a full-on costume change. All right, then. But here's the proof. If it was 2000, the math ain't mathin'. The timeline ain't timelining. So thank you. The defense rests, Your Honor. And that's basically what he just did. Here's all the information. So court of public opinion. Get off his D. Get off his D. That's literally what he's saying right now. You see the timeline ain't timelining. I just broke it down for you guys, for everyone to see. I even brought PowerPoint. I even brought a PowerPoint presentation for that A. Get off of Jay-Z's D. That's what they're doing. And then also at the same time, oh, Judge, do you mind dropping this lawsuit because it ain't working? Okay. And then on top of it, they ain't friends. They were never friends. So quit putting his name next to Diddy, because they ain't friends. Okay. So like I said, what say you? What say you? What say you? Get the and so definitely get those votes in. I want to get it to 500 votes. The poll is at the top of the chat right now. Okay? Vote. I want to hear your thoughts on this. And it's surprisingly going one way. Wow. Wow. It's going one way. That's shocking. So please, let's get it to 500 votes. Like right now. Just go on up there. Just go boop. Yes, I said, did Jay-Z's lawyer convince you of his innocence? I said, yes, it was some solid points. And the other one, him still guilty. That's what I have. So get on up there, get it to 500 votes. We're almost there. We're just shy of 100 more votes. I see a bunch of y'all in here. Let me know your thoughts by simply going up there. Yes, he did have a PowerPoint presentation. He pulled out all the stops. He wanted to make sure y'all could see this in the nosebleed seats. That's what he did. Let me show you how innocent he is. I'm breaking it all the way down. PowerPoint presentation right here for that ass. And now you see it. So get off his D. That's what he's basically saying. Very interesting though, right? Very interesting. So we got another video as an interview with Alex Spiro with NBC News, the same reporter that interviewed the Jane Doe is interviewing this man right here. It's very interesting. Let's talk about it. Like to hear it. Here you go.
Tonight, Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, is pushing to get a judge to dismiss the rape lawsuit against his client, citing an NBC News exclusive that found inconsistencies with the accuser's account.
We expect Mr. Carter to be fully cleared of all of this in the coming days. Almost nothing that she says has checked out because this never happened.
This in the wake of our interview with a 38-year-old mother from Alabama who accuses Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, and Sean Diddy Combs of raping her when she was 13 years old. She asked us not to reveal her identity.
What made you want to come forward? Because I think that I've been quiet long enough.
She says that she might have some facts wrong, but that she says the incident happened. What do you say to that?
You know, anybody, when they make up a claim, they can just keep repeating it and getting it right. But you never get the details right. And what happened during her interview with you is that the story began to unravel.
On the night of the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000, she says Combs' limo driver took her to an after party.
Okay, again, he did make a strong, solid point with this right here when they said, hey, the limo driver had to go and take Diddy and JLo to wherever they were going, turn all the way around, come back to the Radio City Music Hall, pick up this Jane Doe, and then drive back out to this white house with a U-shaped driveway. He makes a strong point. He's like, there's no way that they could have done all of this in this very short amount of time. There was a window of time that mathematically, time-wise doesn't make sense. It doesn't. He's got good points here. It's solid. There's solid points. I'm wanting to see if somebody can actually show and poke holes in this as well. What his argument is. But again, let me say this too. If she has the year wrong, then that might be a thing. But if she's saying that it's 2000, then it's 2000. And that could be the whole thing that destroys her argument because she had the wrong year. If it was I know that people are saying 2003 in the chat and all that stuff. I've heard those theories as well. But at the same time, if she's not saying that, then that's not what's filed, then that's what it is. You see what I'm saying? Ebony just said this. Why has no other news source has picked up this interview? I will tell you why. They can't verify the information that's presented in this interview. I mean, it's a solid point, but I will say this, though. Maybe they have reached out to Jay-Z's lawyers and they are not interested. Maybe they think that one interview is enough. But it is also very interesting, though, if you really think about it. And I also asked this too, because I keep wondering who's paying NBC? Who's connected to NBC? I've asked that too. Does Jay-Z maybe have some stakes, some skin in the game for NBC? I'm just asking the question. I feel like that's a question that should be asked. Because that's a little odd, don't you think? They're willing to go to this one, but that's a good point. They're not willing to go to other places. Why? And again, I'm waiting for News Nation. I'm waiting for an interview with News Nation. I'm waiting for an interview on Long Crime, Court TV, any of these other outlets that have been covering and keeping a very close watch on everything Diddy and now a little Jay-Z. But I am kind of curious about that. You know, I'm wondering where, CNN, Fox News, MSNBC might do it too. But you see what I'm saying? I'm kind of curious about that because something about that is a little odd. It is a little odd, but let's move on. And hey, time will tell. They might have an interview with Ashley Banfield tonight. You never know, right? You never know. So we can't just automatically assume. It's still very possible that other interviews are going to be coming very soon. And you never know. This lawyer may feel like one interview is enough. I said what I said. Now I need to go back to doing my job. That might be it too. Let's get into it.
There she says she spoke to musician Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo. That's the Last Supper.
In a statement to NBC News, a representative for the Maddens confirmed they did not attend the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at that time.
Yeah, that's really bad. Again, they're saying that they weren't there in 2000. But again, if they were there in 2003, that might be a different story. You see what I'm saying? Oh, that's very sweet of you guys. I saw another one earlier, but I have to react to that. Thank you so much. My news source is you, sir. I love that. Thank you so much. All right. Damn right. I appreciate it. Thank you. That means the world to me. Thank you so much. Let's continue on though. Let's continue on.
At the after party, she says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter both raped her. She says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up.
We rode home in silence. She didn't ask me what happened.
And I'm sorry. To me, it's the dad for me. I'm sorry. That's the part where I'm like, oh,
Interview with NBC News, her father said he could not corroborate her story. I feel like I would remember that, and I don't, he said.
Yeah,
the woman
bad.
revealed to us that
that's bad. I'm sorry. That's bad. Lemon Tree. Oh, thank you. You a legend, Pascal. We love you, man. Wow. Thank you, man. Damn. You guys are going to get me emotional. Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you so much. Damn. Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you. That means a lot.
She has autism and previously suffered a head injury. In a follow-up phone interview, we asked her about the contradictions, and she said that she stands by her statements.
This woman is standing by her story. It happened over 20 years ago. Maybe her memory is hazy. Maybe her father doesn't remember that night.
No, she's doubled down on certain of these details. She says, I'm positive. She points out the tattoo. She talks about the tattoo in vivid detail. Turns out that's completely false. And the father is supposed to be picking her up. 10-hour drive, round trip to pick her up in the middle of the night. Has no memory of that. No one has come forward about this in nearly a quarter of a century, and that's because this never happened.
Okay, now that's a very interesting point. Solid point that he's making. With all due respect, it is a solid point. But at the same time, that doesn't mean the conversation that she had with those guys from Good Charlotte didn't happen. Maybe it was another conversation at another time. She could have her timeline wrong. She could be talking about a different year. 24 years is a long time. Damn near quarter of a century. It's a long time. All right? That's a long time. All right? So she could have things a little bit messed up. But then at the same time, yeah, see, I was even thinking that too, that maybe she was talking to a different band. But she says she vividly remembers seeing the tattoo of the Last Supper on his arm. But again, she could have seen that in a magazine and then just implanted that in her head as if she had a conversation with these people. Then on top of it, she has autism, and she suffered a brain injury. So brain trauma as well. Come on. I mean, there could be things that could have gotten a little jostled up during that head injury, depending on what kind of head injury she had. Let's not forget that. So, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of factors in here that I'm just like, oh, damn. There's a lot of factors that swing me back to maybe she isn't lying. But then maybe she is. Maybe she isn't. Maybe she is. It's very frustrating. And I could see why we haven't heard anything from the judge in regards to the motion to dismiss. Because he's probably going like, wait a second, but then she says this. You know what I mean? It's going back and forth like this, swinging like this, back and forth and back and forth. So I could see the struggle. And I could see how this is dividing the internet, right? How this is dividing the world. I'm looking at the poll right now, which is almost at 500 votes. And it's very shocking what you guys are voting right now. Let's what the results are so far. It's pretty wild, but let's continue on.
Spyro said he's not only seeking justice for Jay-Z, he says that he also wants to expose the accuser's attorney, Tony Busby.
He takes away the voices from real victims and he causes real harm. If this lawyer has any sense, he's going to dismiss this claim. I don't know whether he has any sense.
Busby, who has filed more than 20 lawsuits against Combs, told NBC News that he is continuing to vet the accuser's claims and that she has agreed to undergo a polygraph this week.
Polygraph this week. There it is. She's agreed to go and do a polygraph this week. So I cannot wait to hear the end of that. But at the same time, one thing I hate hearing from Busby's team is the fact that they're saying, oh, yeah, we're still vetting this person. That's what it basically means. Listen to that. Listen to this one more time. Listen to what she says.
Who has filed more than 20 lawsuits against Combs, told NBC News that he is continuing to vet the accuser's claims and that she has agreed to undergo a polygraph this week.
They are still vetting this Jane Doe. So if you're still vetting this Jane Doe, then why file it in the first doggone place? She should already be fully vetted before you even put ink to paper. That's the only argument I'm saying here. This is where it gets sloppy. This is where it's like, oh, damn, you didn't properly vet this woman. This is not good. Optically, it looks bad. You see what I'm saying? Damn it. Then it makes you wonder, are you vetting everybody? Is everyone properly vetted? Are you still vetting these people while you're in the middle of writing these documents, these lawsuits out? Come on, y'all. It's bad. It's bad. It looks bad, y'all. Looks really bad. And, you know, it's like, you were the chosen one. You know what I mean? To Busby. This is not the time to go off kilter. This is not the time to not dot those lowercase j's and cross those t's. This is the time to be completely stitched up. And he's not doing that. He did not do that, at least with this one. I mean, yes, sure, maybe one can slip through the cracks, but none of them should be. This is crucial, guys.
A representative for Combs called the suit a shameless money grab.
Since your attorneys refiled the lawsuit against Combs naming Jay-Z, he has come out with a very long statement saying that this is completely not true and that this is all about trying to get money from him. What do you say about that?
I haven't asked for a dime from him. It's not everything is motivated by money, and I'm sorry that he feels that it is.
This woman also...
Hold on. And I'm glad they're playing, like they're throwing back the interview and all that. I mean, isn't the whole thing a civil lawsuit in the first place? So isn't she after money? She wouldn't file against Diddy or Jay-Z or any of them if it wasn't, you know, for a civil lawsuit, if it wasn't for some sort of financial justice, right? So that doesn't make sense, that part. I'm just saying that, you know, maybe she's misspeaking there or something, but that's the whole purpose of doing that lawsuit. And also, that's the other thing too. I want to remind you this as well. Jay-Z's first statement after his name was exposed in this document, he said, if you really are trying to take me down and you really believe I did this, you should be throwing me in prison right now on criminal charges. In fact, there is no statutes of limitations for first degree R in New York. So she could still file a criminal complaint. She could still get him criminally and throw him in jail. But what happened? Busby says, and we did a video about it. We did a whole live. I was like, oh, damn. Is Jay-Z about to be in jail, y'all? Dun, dun, dun. Right? Have we heard or seen any criminal complaint filed as of late? We have not seen anything so far from this particular Jane Doe filing a criminal complaint against Jay-Z. It's interesting. Maybe they still are doing it. That stuff does take time, I guess. But at the same time, nothing's happening right now. We have yet to see anything of that sort. But he even taunted her, saying, "Hey," and Busby saying, "Hey, why don't you fill that out? Fill out that complaint, that criminal complaint, and throw me in prison then. You shouldn't be asking for my money. You should be trying to put me under the prison." He's got a solid point there too. I mean, they haven't done it yet. Maybe they will file a criminal complaint, but we have yet to see anything of that sort so far. That is interesting to me as well. Just saying that out loud. Doesn't mean that I don't believe this victim. The holes in her story make everything very questionable. But at the same time, there are facts and there's a timeline that we do know, and we have yet to see anything about a criminal complaint so far. But hey, shoot, it's still early in the week, so anything's possible.
You told us on camera last week that this isn't about money.
Well, let's be serious. A lawyer like this is not sending out these letters not to make money. He wants money and fame. He doesn't care about truth and justice. And that's what's going on here. Chloe Malone.
And he's not wrong. They're not going to go and meet up just to have an apology. You know what I'm saying? It's not like she's going, "Oh, I need to meet you in the flesh, and I just need you to sign a photo for me, and we're even." I mean, that might be it too. I don't know. People have had wilder situations, but you really they're going to meet up just to talk it out? No, I'm sure that it was going to be a conversation about finances, about money. that he was going to have some sort of fiduciary responsibility, pay her off, basically, do some sort of settlement so that his name isn't mentioned in this lawsuit. But that didn't work out. Jay-Z got mad and said, "You are trying to extort me, F you." And then his name got exposed. So again, same thing with this female celebrity B. We have yet to hear anything about that particular name. Why? Because they probably got the same doggone demand letter saying, "Hey, your name is mentioned in this thing. We'd like to have a meeting with you. My client and I would like to have a meeting with you." But we already know what that conversation is really going to be about. It's not mentioned in the paperwork in that demand letter, but clearly that's what's going to go down. We're going to have a conversation. You're going to see her. We're going to tell you what you've been alleged of doing. And then bang. We're going to talk about what the next step is, right? So, yeah. It's a very interesting turn of events, y'all.
Boss joins us in studio. So, Chloe, explain this to me. The attorney for the plaintiffs, Tony Busby, right? He's sticking by his client, even though you've been able to report these inconsistencies and they are now out there in the public?
Yes, and because of our exclusive report here on Top Story, he's actually going to have Jane Doe do a polygraph test. He says he hasn't done it yet, but that they are going to be doing it this week. He also said in a statement to us moments ago that their conduct throughout all of this has been beyond reproach and will continue to be.
A statement directly to NBC News from Tony Busby. And he's saying our ish has been pristine on how we handle these things. We have been on point and we will not drop the ball. Interesting, guys. Very interesting.
Even though that's not what you're hearing Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's attorney, what he's saying. Also, I just want to show you, Jay-Z's team created a timeline. Obviously, even though this took place allegedly 24 years ago, right? They are saying that there is just no way that he could have been at the VMAs. He's on camera there until the end of the VMAs, which ended right after 11. And that there are photographs of him at the Lotus Club in Manhattan. And they say he was there till 3 a.m. and then he went to the music studio. So again, they are adamant that
he was not at that party.
He was not at any sort of after party.
Interesting, right? Then on top of it, Alex Spiro even went a step further and was like, even Diddy and JLo couldn't have been at that spot either. Just to add a little salt into this wound. Boom, look at this. Okay? I mean, just saying, like I said, I'm not sitting here saying that I don't believe this Jane Doe. We're just looking at facts, or at least the facts that have been presented, the evidence that has been presented. To me, there's a lot of holes. Now, here's the thing. Someone that young, experiencing some type of trauma of this kind, of this caliber, could have things a little jostled up in their head. That is very possible. I will never sit there and say that is not a possibility. Absolutely, there's some possibilities here. And honestly, any person of any age that has to deal with some type of trauma like this, to this severity, could get things jostled up for sure. But when you have a lawyer coming up and showing a full-on breakdown of everything, it does make you ask questions. It does. There are red flags for sure. Can't help but look at that and go, all right, there's some solid points here. There are. Now, will this be enough for the judge to sit there and go, yeah, no, we got to throw this out? I don't know. We haven't heard anything from the judge and their decision on whether they're going to dismiss or if they're going to continue this particular case into a trial. Only time will tell. on that, right? Let me get this members chat. Thank you so much for being a member for the past 14 months, Dolphin. I appreciate it. I'm sorry, but that's the most ridiculous thing I've heard all of this Diddy drama. Vacations, parties, concerts, sports, etc. They are friends. Yeah. The fact that they're sitting there going like, nah, we ain't friends. In fact, someone just sent me a photo and I have to share it with y'all because it's just ridiculous. Let me just show you what I mean. Take a look at that. Now, I know they're just sitting next to each other, but this is one of many photos of them sitting next to each other, standing next to each other, posing with each other, next to each other, walking down, doing red carpet events with each other, all that stuff. You're telling me they're not friends? I beg to differ. Sorry. I'm sorry. You know? Anyway, so I'm just looking. I'm just like, even so, I'm looking over on this other screen I have, and it's just like other photos of them together and stuff. It's like, come on, stop. M. Smith, thank you so much. I don't believe this woman comes from a happy home. For her father to say he doesn't remember because he had a lot going on says a lot. Now, what is said by Spyro is interesting about that. He says he was asked about when they was talking about when I guess the father was getting interrogated and being asked about certain things. They basically said, yeah, I'm sure you had a lot going on. And so he responded like, yeah, I have I had a lot going on, but I would remember this if this happened. If this happened, I would remember this. So he's like, boom, like, yo, I would have remembered this man. I would have remembered this. And of course, there is a possibility. You're right. Dad could be a not so great dad. That is a strong possibility, but that's not confirmed. We don't know. We haven't seen it, right? We haven't seen that information. All I'm saying is that is some very, I'm telling you right there, for me at least, until I'm hearing something otherwise, until I hear something different, until I see the dad speak out in another, like in an actual interview to explain himself, which we'll never get, unfortunately. That piece, that soundbite, or that quote is terrible. And it destroys a lot, in my personal opinion. It's the thing that just, that's that domino that knocks it all down. Boop. Oh, damn, the dad doesn't even remember? And I'm telling you right now, all of us are smart individuals. We're all intelligent. We're all brilliant in our own right. That is a moment you would remember for the rest of your days as a parent. For sure. But I will say this. Just because I saw somebody say Jay-Z won. Just because Jay-Z won this one does not mean he won the war. He may have won this battle, maybe, but he has not won the war. Just saying. Because allegedly there's other people that are stepping forward that have filed. It's not over yet. He's going to have to keep fighting this. And that, if for a person who could very well be 110% innocent, that is terrible. As a person who is an innocent man, that could be terrible. That could be absolutely terrible, y'all. Okay? No, JLo is not confirmed as the witness. Not at all. Not at all. When Spyro mentions her name, he is using her name as an example of somebody who is coming to the parties and all that and was in a relationship with Diddy, but he does not say that she's the one in the room. Now, I know that everybody and their mama's going ham on that. That celebrity, that female celebrity B, could be anybody. That has not been confirmed by nobody, just so you guys know. All right. Let's continue on. Tasha, thank you so much. The bottom line is that the judge has not thrown it out yet. That's very true. So our beliefs are not important. And celebrity 3 could be cooperating. Uh-oh. My friend Tasha, you got a point there. Very good point. Celebrity 3 could be cooperating. Celebrity 3 could be talking to Tony Busby and this Jane Doe and paying this Jane Doe off, or they're coming to some sort of understanding. She could very well be cooperating. Anything's possible with that too. So our beliefs are not important. That is true. We still have to wait and see what the court is going to do. Notice that is true, that the judge has not said yes or no yet, because I feel like there is some conflicting information. And I can see why this is making somebody, a judge, maybe pausing for a second. But you never know. First thing tomorrow morning, there might be something filed. There might be a decision filed, dismissed, or no, moving right along. That might be possible. But we'll see. We will see with that. We will see that. That's it. We got to wait and let it cook.
I do want to ask you this. What is Jay-Z's sort of legal team strategy in describing the relationship between Diddy and Jay-Z? Because there are a ton of photos of them over the years, obviously before these allegations came out.
And this civil suit, Tom, originally just named Combs, and then it was amended last weekend to include Jay-Z. What Alex Spiro said to me today is that although publicly Jay-Z supported Diddy, they were not best friends. They were not as close as you thought that they were. So in terms of knowledge of what went on allegedly at these white parties and what took place allegedly in these civil suits and the criminal charge and the trial, he says Jay-Z has no knowledge of any of that. Again, he publicly supported him as a fellow musician and someone where they came up together in the industry, right, but that they weren't as close as you thought.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories.
Interesting. And it's funny to me that he is sitting there just doubling down even more, 10 toes down, being like, we ain't friends, man. We ain't never been friends, and we ain't friends. But the funny thing is that it's the same story that what we talked about with when we heard about R. Kelly. Same thing. When we hear stories about his relationship with Jay-Z's relationship with R. Kelly, same thing. He was apparently pretty tight with R. Kelly until everything came crumbling down. Then suddenly he had so much disdain and hate and for Ara. That's crazy, guys. And I get it. Once you find out that somebody did something like that to Littles, man, you ain't gonna be friends with them no more. It's like, yeah, we were friends back in the day, but we ain't friends now. We for damn sure ain't friends. The hell you talking about? We ain't friends, shoot. So I get it. You're going to distance yourself as much as you can because you don't want to be affiliated with such diabolical movements. Okay? But at the same time, I still don't believe that they weren't friends. That's just me. And that's the reason why I feel like the court of public opinion is like, oh, stop, man. Now you're lying. Now you're lying. And that's the other thing, too. Ebony, you have a good point right there. Real talk. Right there. Bang. Right there. He waited too long to distance himself. He should have been done that long ass time ago. In fact, where is Hollywood at? Where they at? Where they at? Real talk. Where they at? We ain't heard nothing from nobody as far as Hollywood goes. All the people that are all up in the videos, doing all the interviews and the not the interviews, but like the videos and the photos with him posing and going, ain't no party like a Diddy party. Where they at? And no, I'm not quoting LeBron. I'm just saying, or I was quoting LeBron, but I wasn't insinuating LeBron. I'm just saying, where are all those people? Where are they at? No one's saying anything. And that's the sad part. No one's saying anything and standing up and saying, no, I ain't cool with this. And I don't stand for this stuff, period, point blank. They're not doing that. But then as soon as they get accused of something, what happens? Next, everybody, that's when they're like, oh, no, we ain't friends. We ain't friends at all. Come on, guys. The only person that we've known so far to step forward and start talking is Ray J. That's the only mother lover that stepped forward and started talking. He was the first one out the gate. The only one out the gate. Where's everybody else, man? Oh, and 50 Cent. But 50 Cent is just hilarious. The ultimate troll. All right? He clowning like crazy out here, but he's the only one. All right? Aside from Ray J. Which, of course, Ray J is out here going, I say, ask not what you can do for your country, and then I just start worrying about my own ass. That's Ray J. He's the only one who's come out and started talking. Other than that, everybody else has been on the hush-hush. I'm saying A-list names. Not former bodyguards or anything. And I appreciate them coming forward and all that. I'm just talking about the people that are artists or have done work with him and all that stuff. None of them are saying anything. Where the are they? They ain't nowhere. They're really worried about their own ass. And that's it. And they're hiding out. Not saying a damn thing. That's wild. Oh, yeah. Larry Johnson, sure. You got Larry Johnson that spoke out talking about littles and stuff. That was some wild stuff. Okay. Check it out. I did a video about that on my second channel. Go check it out. That is wild. All right. But other than that, I mean, I'm talking about people who are right now at the tip of our tongues, those names that we know that are part of the current zeitgeist. Not a former NFL player. I'm not knocking Larry Johnson. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying, all the people that are out here, all right, that are in the big time movies, the top comedians, the top TV show hosts, etc. Where they at? Why aren't they talking? Ain't nobody talking right now except Ray J and 50 Cent. And 50 Cent having a good time. He's having a blast. Some of the best times of his damn life. Okay. So this is going to be, oh, yeah, thank you. I forgot about that. That slipped under the radar for me, too. Damn. But yeah, Will Smith was like, nah, man, do not put me in the same category as Diddy. Hell no. I'm surprised he didn't jump off that stage and smack the taste out of that person's mouth who said something to Will Smith at that time. And then he made that baby oil joke, right? Making that joke about baby oil. So, yeah. Yeah. So, again, only a few people have talked. Few. But, like, as far as that whole thing, as far as Hollywood is quiet right now. Everyone is quiet. Straight up. Quiet. Why? This is the time to step forward. In fact, this is the perfect opportunity to step forward and start speaking out and being like, yeah, come with me. Come hang out with me. I got a new project. Take over Diddy's slot. Take over his spot as the media mogul. This is the perfect opportunity to step forward and be like, damn that dude disgusting. I don't roll like that. And if you like the fact that I don't roll like that, come over here. You see what I'm saying? Come over here to death row. If you don't like the dude dancing all up in the videos, come down to death row. This is the perfect time. This is the perfect time to step forward. Yeah, Jamie Foxx did say some stuff too, but it was all in comedy. It was all in comedy. And then he said, I found God. I found God. That's all he did. his special, his stand-up special, which was very emotional, all right? And it was very good. It was very well done. I thought it was very beautiful. But on some real stuff, he said he found God. Okay? No more white women. No more white women. You know what I'm saying? I found God. I found God. That's all he did. Okay? Okay? So, with all that being said, I'm done. But he did say some things, but he really did say, I found God. After, I mean, you know, I would too. You know what I mean? I would too after, you know, having a near-death experience like that. Let's keep it a bean. And then, you know, he had his daughter played her guitar, which was really, really beautiful and all that. But at the same time, I mean, yeah, he said a lot of different things. All right. He said a lot of different things. But yeah, he didn't really talk much about Diddy. He just threw in jokes and stuff like that. Okay. Oh, Plant Lady. Oh, then you just don't know me, Plant Lady. I'm kidding. Yeah, y'all gonna be seeing some new stuff here soon. Trust and believe. We 2025 are gonna be fire. Okay. Did I take you out, Ebony Queen? Come on now. This is what I'm here for. We're here to have some fun a little bit too. Come on now. The mass tragedy and all that stuff. It was emotional and sad and all that. But you know, the Diddy Jay-Z stuff, you know, it's a little bit, you know, it's still serious, but you know, it's not, you know what I mean? So I try to have a little bit of fun, you know, on the show, because not everything has to. We do have to talk about that serious stuff, you know what I mean? But we also have to, you know what I mean? We got to cut loose a little bit, just a little bit. All right. Yeah, Bonnie, I heard that they allegedly cut out a lot of stuff in the stand-up. I don't know if that's entirely true, because I know Choke No Joke is basically saying that it's you know, all that, but at the same time, I don't know. All right. Wanda Young, I've thought about doing stand-up. I think it'd be a lot of fun. But it'd be nerve-wracking as hell. So it's on my bucket list for sure. All right. Yeah, I like having fun. Okay. I like having some jokes and having a good time with y'all. All right. It's fun. It's a fun time. Okay. But yeah, he found God. Jamie Foxx found God. Okay. So now, you know, we're going to see a different Jamie Foxx. I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to see a different side of Jamie Foxx here soon. And I just wish he'd just play more music, because he is really talented. You know what I mean? He's very, very talented. Tasha, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. Okay, now that Spyro has publicly said Jay never went to the after parties. Can't wait to see what he'll say if Jay is on Puffy's tapes. You are not wrong with that. You know, I'm waiting for all that stuff to be out here. Okay, I'm waiting for all that stuff to come out. Wait for it. If there is footage like that. But I don't see Jay-Z being all up in those kind of videos. I don't. But then again, I could be wrong. I just want to wait. You know what I mean? I want to wait for more facts, because we could speculate all day long. But at the same time, I worry about saying something and saying ill things on someone that could be innocent. You see what I'm saying? And I would even say that for Diddy too. Although Diddy, he's got smoking gun evidence. It's a wrap for him. Jay-Z though, I don't know. And I don't exactly 718. I don't think Jay-Z is dumb. I just don't see him being all up in these videos. I just don't see that. I don't. If he was to do a crime, there ain't going to be no footage of that. That's if he did a crime. Only if he did a crime. Okay? Think about it. Think about it. But only time will tell. Because remember, this is not officially over yet with this Jane Doe. Nothing has been decided yet. That decision could happen this week, sometime this week. When that drops, we're going to talk about it. Okay. When that decision's made, we're going to talk about it. But at the same time, this does not mean that Jay-Z's in the clear. This is like Pringles, y'all. Once you pop, you don't stop. You don't think that there's other people out here that want to step forward and file civil lawsuits against Jay-Z now that he is fully exposed? Wait for it. It could actually happen. Whether those are true or not, they're still going to be going after Jay-Z. And that could be a fortunate or unfortunate situation, depending on who's telling the truth and who's lying. Just saying. Look at what happened with Diddy. As soon as he got arrested, tidal wave of people. Busby saying there's going to be up to 300 possibly lawsuits going for Diddy alone, civil lawsuits. Jay-Z could very much be on that same chopping block, and that's scary. Do stand up as your audience. That'd be dope. I don't know. I've always thought about it, but it's a dream. It's definitely a dream. But then there's another part of me that's like, I don't know. I kind of like shooting from the hip. You know what I mean? I like having conversations with you guys and just being myself and not doing all the like scripted stuff. You know what I'm saying? Something I've never done before. I definitely would try. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I like the freedom of just talking to you guys and just being myself, you know? So, yeah. But it's something to think about. I won't say no to it. I'd be down for it. Okay? Because you got to at least try it once, right? Especially if it's on a bucket list, you just got to try it once. At least, right? So that's something I'm thinking about. I'm definitely thinking about. It would definitely be a very adult show. Like it would not be, because I use all these code words and I try to stay somewhat PG-13 with the language, but it would not be PG-13. I'm just letting y'all know. Okay. But that's something I'm thinking about for sure. Let me end this poll. Out of 725 votes. Damn. So I asked you guys, did Jay-Z's lawyer convince you of his innocence? 76% of y'all said him still guilty. Wow. Out of 725 votes, 76, more like 77% of y'all said him still guilty. Wow. That's nuts. That is nuts. Well, the court of public opinion is still leaning on the side of him guilty. That's some wild stuff. Wanda Young, yes, I do play. Yes, I do. I do. Yeah. So, man, that's freaking nuts. I still can't believe it because I feel like that lawyer definitely just said, look, here's all the evidence. The math ain't mathing. The timeline ain't timelining. Her story is not lining up at all, guys. Him innocent. And 76% of y'all said, nah, him guilty. Him guilty. Wow. That's crazy. Well, Jay-Z is still fighting. He's still climbing that hill. So we'll see what happens here. Like I said, only time will tell. We'll see. We'll see what goes on. Give it some time. More stuff is about to drop. Trust. I feel like the real definitive moment is going to be when the judge says, yes, we continue with this case, or nah, this has been dropped. That will be the definitive. That will definitely be the definitive moment. We'll see what happens, guys. We will see what happens. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Really, it means a lot. It really does. We got some more things coming. You know, by the way, your boy's working really hard. All right. I'm putting together this Christmas special. It's like a musical Christmas special. I'm really excited about it. Like I said, I'm presenting more to the show that I've never done really before. I'm very excited. And I think that maybe in the future, there's going to be new added pieces to the show, like what I'm bringing to this particular Christmas special. Still in the middle of production. We're almost done. I'm hoping that it'll be out and ready to go by Monday, which is, I think, the 20. It would probably be Sunday or Monday, just depending on if I can get everything that I want to get done. But it will be there, readily available to for you guys to see. Okay, and so I am really looking forward to it. Put in a lot of time, put a lot of effort, and brought in a lot of really special people to be a part of this whole thing. And I'm really looking forward to sharing it with you guys. Again, it's something completely different. Yes, no, we are not talking about gloom and doom. Okay, it is a holiday special, so it's going to be exactly what that is. A holiday special, something fun and different, and and totally different from last year's Christmas special. I will say that I was able to get a little bit more done this year, which I'm really, really excited about. And like I said, I am really looking forward to sharing it with you guys, and it's going to be fire when it's all said and done. But still got a lot going on. Okay. So get ready for it. It's going to be fire. It's going to be really, really special. I can't wait. I really, really can't wait. All right. But I appreciate you guys. It's time to get going. Do me a favor. Okay. Hit that like button down below, please, and thank you. Hit that like button down below. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. If you are watching on those other platforms, make sure you hit that follow button. Okay, Facebook, X/, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Rumble. I'm on all of them. Hit that follow button. Follow, please, and thank you. Don't forget to do that, okay? Subscribe to this main channel. Go to my secondary channel, which, by the way, we got to 20,000 subscribers, by the way, on the secondary channel. Holy cow. I just noticed that this morning. I was like, damn, we made it to 20. Damn. And that's amazing, okay? Couldn't be possible without you guys showing love and support over there on the secondary channel. So make sure you're subscribed over there. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check that out. Check out my Patreon and my locals. In fact, there's going to be a lot more Patreon stuff and member stuff that you guys are going to be able to see before this Christmas special airs, which I'm really, really excited about. You're going to see it, some of it first, before it comes out on next Monday. So I'm looking Sunday, Mondays. I'm bouncing back and forth on the date. It just depends on more time. I need more time. Okay. But yes, I can't wait to share with you guys all this stuff. So go and check it out. Become a member. Be part of the Patreon world. That'd be amazing. Go check out my PascalMerch.com store. We got some really great stuff. All right. Go check it out. Please and thank you. Of course, do not forget, we do have that GoFundMe. If you want to contribute, you are more than welcome to. That'll really helps with the special that I'm putting together right now as we speak. Okay. But anyway, guys, it is time to get going. Much love to you guys. Have a great night. It's getting late. I love y'all. Have a good one. And I'll be talking to you guys very, very soon. Okay. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. See you guys tomorrow. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.